Hi, I'm Peter Roper. This is Community Buzz, and we are at a spot in Preston with Tim Bowles, who's running for the 18th District Senatorial Contest. And this is his farm, and we're going to meet some of his animals and see some of his property. Thank you, Tim, for doing this.
Absolutely,
it's nice
Peter.
to be out in the field.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, absolutely, on a gorgeous day like this, too.
Why don't you give us a quick tour of what we're going to do?
Yeah, essentially, I think we are starting here in the barn, taking a look at the animals that we have, the alpacas, a couple of donkeys. They're not making noises right now, but we have that. In addition to a beautiful dog that we have, Emma the Maremma, who's our guard dog, protects all of the animals, particularly the young crias, the alpaca babies, from coyotes, which we have a significant problem with. And then we'll move on, take a look at some of the final products associated with the fiber product, and then we'll start moving on down to the river. This is a 200-acre farm. It's in a family preserve, family trust, and we have had it in the family since 1968, and really intend to go ahead and preserve this for future farming and open space protection.
Great. That's definitely a good issue for this district, because there is some beautiful spots, and if you don't proactively do something about it, it will be developed, and then people wonder where it all went. So I give you a lot of credit for trying to keep the family farm.
Absolutely, and it ties in from all the work that's been done in the Thames River Heritage Park down in the Groton, New London area. What I'm hoping, and again, it's going to take a while to establish this, but to extend that protection all the way up to the Norwich Harbor, past the Preston Riverwalk and Mohegan Sun. And once we establish that Heritage Park from the Norwich, New London Harbor to Norwich, then we tie in automatically to Last Green Valley, which you're pinned. Absolutely.
Last Green Valley is the northeast.
Yeah. And we go all the way up to Sturbridge at that point in time. So we could create a huge corridor all the way up this whole valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know this is about preservation and about farming, but it's really about economics too. The beauty of this area is a huge economic resource for us. I mean, mystic and the cultural and historical, and then the natural, I think, are huge value to us, and we need to, I think, use that more as an economic driver too.
Absolutely, and it's not just about tourism. It really has to do with valuing the aesthetics that we have here in eastern Connecticut along this particular corridor. It really is taking a look at finally developing some positive dialogue about the attributes and the aesthetics that we have here. We have a gorgeous, and I've lived here for 40 years and have no intention of leaving. And I have a family, granddaughters, and a son that live in the area. This is a beautiful part of the country, and I think we have a very valuable piece of land here, and we want to go ahead and do everything we can as a family to protect it.
Great. Well, thanks again. Let's meet your llamas and go see the rest of the farm.
Again, alpacas, but that's great. That's
My
great.
bad.
Okay, girls, come on, let's go. Everybody, it's feeding time here at the barn. So here we go. Yes. This is Sonia. You saw her fiber out there. This is her daughter. That's little Kimmy. And we're coming in here. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Everybody. Here we go. Yes. Come here. And there goes Dorothy. And now the special time is with Mikey. He gets his own special little bowl right here. Lily, come here, Mike. Lily, there we go. Come on. Go ahead, Mike. There you go. Take care of the guys over here. The other thing I just want to show you is the couple of donkeys that we have. back here, and I'll try to get them to come out a little bit. If you can stretch the camera out this way. This is Crystal. She's a sweetheart. Come here. And then there's Sierra right here too as well. But they're both beautiful animals. I got them primarily to go ahead and take care of coyotes. Since then, we have our dog, who has also been taking care of them, and actually a lot better. So these are the two donkeys that we have. And I love donkey hugs. Come here, baby. They're really special. Emma the Maremma has really taken over the lead in terms of the coyote protection, but Crystal in particular will absolutely protect us from coyote attacks. And we've had, with this last full moon, we've had a lot of coyotes around here, a huge pack, and we can talk about that a little bit later. Okay, the wonderful thing about raising alpacas is that they're beautiful animals. I really appreciate them. One of the more humbling experiences I have is mucking the barn, which I did earlier today. Good practice and good experience for any politician. Each of these animals, including Scoochie and little Mikey and Kim and Sonia, and we go on and on. The two donkeys, Crystal and Sierra. The boys over here, Pistol, Blinky, and the Count. They all have special characteristics. For me, this is not only therapeutic in a lot of ways, but also gives me a good chance to get some exercise and there's Mikey right there, and he's a star in terms of a lot of things. They're very curious animals. They're again very gentle most of the time, and all I do is really manage the maintenance of these animals in terms of water and feed and everything else. My wife manages the ultimate product. So essentially they get sheared once a year. We have a crew coming in, 3 to 5 guys at any time to go ahead and shear for the fiber, and then that fiber turns into a final product. And that product is very hypoallergenic, very warm, and much in demand right now. So we're really trying to create a market here in this country. The breeding market has not taken off. I think the recession has a lot to do with that. But the fiber market has certainly been very robust here in New England. You going to be with us?
Come on, girl.
Hi, girls.
Come on.
Hi, Lily. Hi, sweetie. How are you doing? Hi. Mikey? Hi. What are you doing? Huh? Yeah, I think the question has to do with local production of farm products. We're not just talking in this particular case with food production. Obviously, there's a huge movement in New London County in particular around local food production. Specifically in regards to my family's out in California. They've had a significant drought out there for a number of years. And now we're facing a severe drought here in New England for certainly the last summer plus. I think it's significant that we begin to really concentrate not only on food production, but in this case, fiber production in New England, to really take a look at the local production of farm products as we move forward. We have to wean ourselves off of the importation of animal products and food products coming out of whether it's California or Florida or Chile. And really take a look at concentrating our production of food and other kinds of products here in New England. And I think there's a huge demand. People are willing to provide and pay a premium for local production of products. So I think we have to take advantage of that. I think it's an economic driver. I think it's important, and I really commend all the efforts that have been made, whether it's the dairy business or the cheese business or the bee or maple syrup business, to go ahead and really concentrate on marketing products locally made to satisfy the needs of customers that are willing to pay somewhat of a premium to go ahead and purchase products that are regionally produced. You're such hams, you really are. You really are. Look at you two.
Voguing.
Huh?
Voguing.
Exactly right. We got the guys back here.
The guys have to stay out, do they?
Yeah, they stay out there segregated, obviously, from the girls. Yeah,
Because they would impregnate them.
absolutely, no question about it. They're very cyclical, you know, in terms of the heat production, and what the girls do is if they're ready to be impregnated, they cush. They'll actually, you know, kind of lay down on the ground, and but if they're not ready, they'll spit at the boys. That's what they do, which is actually probably a good reproductive safety net for. I don't know if. Yeah, exactly right. So, Mikey, what are you doing? You've got hay all over your mouth and scoochies. Yes. Hi, Sue. Hi, sweet. Yes. You know you're on camera, and that's why you're behaving so well, huh? Yes. Hi, baby. She was born on Father's Day. We have a special relationship. Yes, but she also can spit.
Is she about to spit?
I can tell she's chewing her cud. She's ready. We have if there's a gate between us, if there's a fence between us, she won't do that. We have kisses, and then there's little Mikey. Hi, guy. How you doing? You doing good? You're on. I think you're on camera, huh?
Oh yeah, he's on camera.
Yes. Hi, buddy.
Hi, I'm Donna Bowles. I'm Tim's wife, and Tim asked me to speak for a couple of minutes about what we do with the alpaca fiber. We love our animals, but the fiber is great too. So this is what the raw fiber looks like right after we shear it. Now, if I had one of the animals, one of the adults' blankets, the most valuable part, if I wanted to show you the whole blanket, it would basically take up the table. So I'm just showing you a little bit of it from our girl Sonia when she was first born. So it's soft if you want to feel it. It's got some lovely little crimp. It's beautiful. Now I happen to be a hand spinner. I knit, and I'm not that great, but so I have a drum carder and a spinning wheel. And so from this fiber, I card it, I can spin it, and I can make yarn. I wash it a bunch of times, and this is what hand spinning looks like. This is from Mooney, actually Dancer, the first baby born on our farm, and she's a true black. And I hand spun that, and this is one of our boutique mills in the area, also processes some of the fiber for me. So this is Mooney's other, this is a more of a DK weight. This is chunkier. So knitters, we've got all different colors, natural colors. I also use some natural plants to dye some of the fiber. I'll show you some of that later. Once we have the yarn, then we can make things with them. So this is a scarf that I made for Tim for Christmas. It took me about 3 years to get this done. So that's one scarf. That's another. This is more fiber that I had professionally. This is a color fast yarn. I had it both processed at a boutique mill and dyed. I knit products. So this is a little headband, a little hat, this kind of hat that we can have and this is also baby alpaca fiber, so it's very soft. Alpaca fiber is very, very warm because it's a hollow fiber. It has air in the middle of it, and it's hypoallergenic. It doesn't have any of the lanolin or grease that sheep's wools have. So you can use this. Little babies can have an alpaca blanket, and it doesn't cause them any problems, any allergies. The common things are some of our neighbors, the farmers in Preston, love these socks. These are really warm socks. We can attest to that, how warm alpaca socks are. And hats from the New England Alpaca Fiber Pool are also very, very warm. In addition to these kinds of products, we can have fun with them too, with fiber. I do it's called felting, and you can needle felt and wet felt. So little Christmas decorations. This This is Sonia. This is somehow an impression of Sonia as a Christmas tree ornament. And this, of course, Sonia the baby. As she got older, her fiber got a little darker. And so that's Sonia finished yarn. Different kinds of things that we can do with felting. And other things too, bird feeders with alpaca fiber in them, because they love to take the fiber out of the feeders and line their nests with them. Felting this kind of fiber on a piece of soap shrinks the fiber on soap, so it's a lovely exfoliant, very gentle, moisturizing, and those are the kinds of products I've sold from the farm store. Thank you.
They're beautiful. I'm glad they're doing well, you know.
They are too.
Yeah. It's my pleasure to introduce to you folks a good friend and a good neighbor and somebody who's managing a lot of the activity here on our farm, on Zion Hill Farm, Ted Zajac, right down the road.
Hello, Tim.
Hi, Ted.
I'm Ted Zajac. I came here in 2010 to go through the woods and cut out the cordwood. And it's we do a little logging now of the ash because of the ash borer. And we're diversifying. As you can see, the diversity in these fields. There's 15 acres here planted with ladino clovers, small burnet, the natural goldenrod, and all the stuff for the bees. A friend of ours has been kind enough to put in 8 hives of bees, and they're doing fantastic. The bees will fly up to 3 miles away, so in addition, there's 15-acre field over there, and then Round Hill Farm is across the river, so they have all that. They're doing very, very well. I'm not quite sure what to tell you on production. If the beekeeper was here, he could tell you. But anyway, that's about that for that.
No, and Ted's done a tremendous job with the trails around here. You know, this is the kind of relationship and that I have with local farmers, my family has with people like Ted and other local farmers. We want to protect this land. And I think basically we feel that you don't own property like this. It goes back down to the old Indian kind of perspective on things. We're stewards, and that's the way my family and I feel about this property. But I appreciate so much the work that Ted and other local farmers are doing to help us do that.
Beautiful piece of land. You'll see the trail systems. Oh, it's got to be a mile of trails. Drivable with your car, but we really like it when people, you know, do walk through. But it's gorgeous along the whole river. It's quite a unique piece of land because of the peninsula. You can leave a tractor out here and no vandalism because nobody can really get to this place. You know, it's really nice. But it goes a long, long way. A long way. It's a great piece of land, one of the best ones I've ever worked on. A lot of birch cordwood. We're taking out all of the ash because of the borer, which is too bad, but luckily in Connecticut we don't have so much ash like Pennsylvania, Ohio. They're devastated. There's nothing much you can do except take that down.
Okay, here's another beautiful part of your farm. And Ted explained a little bit about some of the management, and I think that speaks to your ability to work with people and you know, pull people in. What's your vision for this property? It's 200 acres, it's on the river, it's somewhat untouched and certainly valuable as a environmental and even as a resource for farming and other things.
My father bought this property, again, close to 200 acres back in 1968. It's a very special piece of property, bordering on the Quinnebog River, as you suggest. Our intention right now is in a family trust, and our intention, we had an offer from the state of Connecticut a couple of years ago to purchase it outright. But what I would rather do is work in a partnership with organizations like Avalonia, Land Trust and GOSA and other folks at Tri-Trails to really go ahead and protect this in a partnership relationship with all those organizations. To maintain not only the open space value of it, the river value of it, but the farming value of it too. So the condition would be that the 27 acres of fields that we have would remain in agricultural production. Ted Zajac, who we met before, has done a wonderful job with the trail system. We do not own land. I think we are stewards, and that's the position myself and my family are coming from.
And I think the idea of making it a regional kind of resource is good too. I mean, it's important for Preston by itself, but really it goes beyond that because it's in a corridor, which will be good for wildlife.
Yeah.
And like you said, connecting to the cultural and other trails and things like that.
And again, the ideal here is that we connect from all the good work that's being done in the Thames River Basin, Norwich, and New London and Groton, extend that all the way up to Norwich. Once we do that, we connect to the Last Green Valley, the button that you're wearing. So we can extend a historical, environmental corridor, Green Valley corridor, all the way from the mouth of the Thames River all the way up to Sturbridge Village. It's going to take a while. I'm not naive to pretend that, but I think this particular property is critical in a lot of ways to go ahead and advance that particular vision, and that's what my family, myself, are committed to.
That's great. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
It's a great thing. Okay, here we are, Tim. This is the Quinnebog.
Absolutely.
And we see Route 12 in the background, so we got a little traffic in the background.
And a railroad line too, as well, yeah.
But it's still, right there. But it's still a beautiful, beautiful spot and a little piece of heaven, I would say. And I noticed myself that the water line is probably back behind which areas of the camera.
Way back.
And so
1936.
You mentioned the drought we're experiencing, and we noticed the pond on the way in too is really low.
Yeah.
And on my family's farm, the water's way down. So again, I was drawn to you, I think, because of environmental issues. So this is your chance to talk a little bit about that, if you'd like, and more about your property. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. Much appreciated, because I don't think we've had opportunities in this particular election cycle to talk about important issues relative to the future of, my grandchildren and our whole state relative to things. I think we have gone from climate change issues, which I worked on back in 1990 as a planning analyst with Governor O'Neill, where we produced a report, to a climate crisis, and I think we're seeing that right now. My family is in California. They have suffered a significant drought out there for the last 7 to 9 years. We are beginning to witness that here. The river, surprisingly, is a little bit higher thanks to some recent rainfall, but clearly we are being devastated here with lack of rainfall. And one of the things that I'm committed to, whether I was a chair of the Connecticut Sierra Club chapter here in Connecticut or chair of the Connecticut Clean Energy Fund, is that we need to begin to be very urgent about our divorcing ourselves from fossil fuels and really doing a much better job in terms of weaning ourselves off of fossil fuels and moving to a renewable energy program here. It's important for the land, it's important for agriculture, it's important for a whole host of reasons. Thanks.
Yeah. And it's a little bit overwhelming because it is long term. It's not something you're going to do in maybe even in 2 years, but I think it's things we have to start doing, and there are steps we can take that are beneficial, whatever you believe about climate change. It's what boggles my mind is that people oppose efforts to make things better because they say climate change is a hoax. But even if it were a hoax, it's still good to do something, saving energy, saving water, making the planet a better place, and improving our little piece of the world.
Yeah, and I think in terms of economically, and it's a little bit, you kind of suggested this, we have a presidential candidate that's characterized climate change as being a hoax. Absolutely, the science supports the idea that we have some significant problems. whether it's, weather-related storms or drought conditions or anything else. It's become an urgent situation, and I think we have to take steps. I would have loved us to gone ahead 15 years ago to take these kind of steps, but it's not too late. I believe that if we really develop an agenda, and again, it's going to take a bipartisan effort, and I continue to stress that, regardless of things, to go ahead and address the issues and take concrete, specific measures. One of the things that I applaud is the recent agreement that we have, the United States with China, that there is an acknowledgement between the Chinese and the United States of America to go ahead and really challenge the detriment efforts or the impacts here in terms of climate change. So that's the kind of global approach we need. But I also believe that here in Connecticut we can take specific measures too as well, and I'm committed to doing that.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for the tour of this. This is a nice spot. Here we are, the last leg of our tour. Thank you very much. Obviously we're standing in a hayfield, and you said this is about 15 acres? It's a pretty big field.
That's about right, yeah, 15 acres. Yep.
And you also said that the hay has not been as good as you had hoped because of the drought.
No,
So why
no.
don't you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. And first of all, I want to thank you and
Sure.
Terry for going ahead and putting this on. And again, Ted Zajac and my wife. I think one of the reasons we want to be here, this is a beautiful field. We've rotated this between corn silage and hay lots and everything else. We were hoping, and thanks a lot to local farmers and Ted, to go ahead and really start to cultivate some hay for the alpacas, at least a second cutting, which is their preference. But very clearly, as you can see, the drought conditions this summer have been severe. I think this has been the hottest and driest summer that we've had, at least on record, or at least in recent record. And it has a serious detriment in terms of local farming activities. We are one of the farms that have been impacted by this. We'll try to salvage something out of this, but I think what we're trying to see with the Quinnebog River and the conditions here on this particular 15-acre lot is that there are significant implications in terms of what I call climate crisis here. It's not just here in Connecticut, the drought out in California, the storms that we've weathered. I think we have to take significant steps to go ahead and address this issue.
Yeah. It really, I mean, being environmentalist, I know that ties into everything.
Yeah.
The debate was a lot about jobs. And
Right.
I kind of criticized the day because they asked a lot of questions about jobs.
Yeah.
But I think quality of life and water is a huge impact on all kinds of jobs and employment and quality of life. So, we've taken it for granted. Connecticut's actually a fairly wet state normally, and we've had water.
Yeah.
We have utilities which have a lot of water they sell to other towns.
Yeah.
And yet now we could have a whole different scenario. And to me, it deserves much more serious talk because it's not just quality of life. It's not just an environmental nice thing to do. It's going to affect the economy as well as the environment. So I'm glad you're taking a proactive position, and I hope that gets out there and voters realize that you've got a longer term view of this stuff, and we'll benefit from it. So good on you.
Thank you so much, Peter. And we cannot divorce these issues. We cannot segment them and silo them into, economic or environmental or other things. We have to be able to take an integrated approach in terms of our quality of life, in terms of protecting the resources that we have here in Connecticut. This is a beautiful state. I've lived here, in this particular part of the state for 40 years. I've raised my children. I have 4 grandchildren. I care about the future that we have here. And whether we're talking about environmental issues or economic issues or everything, we have to begin to take an integrated and begin to work together. We're far more divisive than I think we should be, and I think we have an opportunity here to really turn things around, take this window of opportunity to make a difference here in the state, and that's what I intend to do. So thank you again so much,
Thank
Peter.
you, and you
I
actually
appreciate
answered
it.
my last question. I was going to ask you why on earth you're running. You've just answered it because you care, and you know, it would be more comfortable to sit and enjoy your farm and your wife and your alpacas, and you're out here campaigning and working to improve things. And I really appreciate that, and I hope the voters recognize that.
Thank you so much,
good
Peter.
luck.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the tour.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Community Buzz. Be well.